There we are. Okay, we are doing chapter 4 in Shir Hashirim, and we actually did verse 10. Where are we here? And 11. Oh, up to verse 12, Yud Bet. But I would like to go back now a little bit according to Chassidus. Okay, remember I said we'll do Pshat, and then every once in a while we'll add Chassidus. So now I would like to add the Chassidus of verse Yud. No, not Yud. Second. Yes, the 9th. We said, Libaftani achoti kala. We said you have libaftani is from the word lev. You have captivated my heart. My sister, my bride. We discussed sister and bride as unconditional love and conditional love. If you recall how Hashem is telling us, complimenting us, how we captivated him even with one of our deeds, right? With one of our eyes and with one of the chains of our necklace. Good morning, Yona. We went back now to verse 9 in chapter 4. We did that, and we did also verse 10. But I'm going back now and adding Chassidut to it, okay? So we're doing verse 9, Tet, and we mentioned that Hashem is complimenting us about our good characteristics, that even if we have only one, we would captivate his heart. We spoke about that. The one is talking about Abraham. We took it, according to Rashi and Pshat, in many different ways. Chassidus explains, Libaftani, meaning you what we translated as captivated my heart. Chassidus explains, Libaftani, you made me the heart. You put me in the center. You made me the center of life. Libaftani, you made me the heart of the world. How did you make me the heart of the world? Achoti kala, by being a sibling, my sister, and kala, and by being my bride. Every time we mention in different words of endearment and description for the bride. Sometimes she's the bride, sometimes she's the sister, sometimes she's my dove, my whole one, achoti, rayati, yonati, tamati. Here he's using achoti and kala. And Chassidus explains that these are two ways of how we made Hashem, that we use to make Hashem the center of the universe, center of the world, center of life. Libaftani achoti kala libaftani. You have captivated my heart. What does it mean? We are the ones that, the Jewish people, by keeping Torah mitzvahs, making the world aware of Hashem, we made Hashem the center of the world by being achot. Achot, in Hebrew, la'achot, it comes from the word ichui, means to connect, to sew, to put together. La'ached, to put together. La'achot means to put together. You connected me to the world. Hashem was like separate. Then he created the world, and like it says, what made him create the world? What did he look at when he wanted to create the world? He saw it as nimlach b'nishmoteim tzadikim. He checked out the neshamas of the tzadikim, and what will they do? And he realized they will connect Hashem to the world. Achot, achoti, you are my connector. You connect me to the world. Also, So this explains that the tzaddik, the righteous one, he connects amongst people. He sees the people and he accepts everyone as they are, and he has the ability to be not judgmental and to connect all types of people, even one that has like echad einayich, that has only one good characteristic, one eye, only one good midah. The tzaddik has the ability to connect that person that is so like far, looks to us like so far from Hashem. He is able to connect him to the nation and to bring him back to connect to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So it's talking about the tzaddikim as, like the Rebbe, connects the world to Hashem and connects every single person. And we as Rebbe's Chassidim, this is also our mission in life, to connect the world to Hashem and to connect people one to the other. And the second word, the second description is kala. Kala we usually translate as bride, but kala has other meanings. Kala is also from the word kilion, to finish. Kilion in the negative way is to finish off a country, to finish off something, to destroy it. There's also kilion of kala from the word klot hanefesh. It's like when the nefesh wants to finish off, to just get out of here and like finish its mission and go back up to Shamayim. At klot hanefesh. Nichsefa, there's one of the words, descriptions that David HaMelech uses. Nichsefa v'gam kalta nafshi, like my heart, my soul is yearning and like finishing itself off, like just yearning to such a state that it wants to leave its body and go up to heaven, back to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Kala is a sense of complete immersing yourself into spirituality and into HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that you leave this physical world. You become so spiritual that you just want to leave. In Chassidus, I'll stop sharing for a minute. In Chassidus, this is a very, it's a very fundamental concept of coming down here into this world, working with your body in this world, and at the same time, having this pull to go back up. The yearning like a flame, constantly wanting to elevate and to go up out of the confines of this world, of this body, to really, really cleave and to go back to Hashem. In Hasidic terms, Kabbalah terms, it's called Ratzov V'Shov, the going back and forth, the coming into this world and then going back up. Hashem wants us to be down here. Our job is to be down here. That's the achoti, to connect to this world, reveal Hashem in this physical world, connect people to Hashem, connect amongst ourselves with Ahavat Yisrael, and see the beauty in every person. At the same time, connect to Hashem, to the sense of having that feeling that you really want to, just get out of this world and to connect to Hashem. But what Hashem really wants us is to stay down here. We want to live here. We have to be here and to use the physical thing. This klot hanefesh is a yearning we should have, but we shouldn't let it come to complete fruition, because then a person is not here. And the accomplishment of Torah mitzvahs down here is more important than being up there just a neshama. And actually, it's interesting, when I was preparing this, I said, it's so like apropos the parsha. So I'd like to connect it a little bit to the parsha before we go on. In Parshat Shavua, we're doing Parshat Shmini. And in the Parsha, oh, I see Dorothy's on the train, got disconnected. Okay. We have the story of the death, the unfortunate death of Aaron's two sons. We are in the 8th day of the 7th of the 8th practice days of building and putting together the Mishkan, and Aaron and his sons learning to do being taught by Moshe Rabbeinu, who serves at Kohen Gadol those 8 days, and he's teaching them how to put together and teaching them the ropes, literally, and of the Mishkan and the work of the Mishkan. Moshe did it for 8 days, and then he gave over the reins to Aaron and his 4 sons. And it says in the middle of the festivities, on the 8th day, which was Rosh Chodesh Nisan, which is actually next week, he, 2 of his sons in the Mishkan pass away. And it says, I don't have it in front of me, that they brought up a strange fire. Esh zara, sorry, there's a fly here. Esh zara, a strange fire, a foreign fire, a fire that they were not supposed to bring up in the Mishkan. And our sages discuss what happened here. On one hand, Hashem says, Bikrovai Akadesh, they were on the highest level. Bikrovai, they were so close to God. And Hashem said, on those that are close to me, Akadesh, I will become holy, I will become sanctified, and I will sanctify those who are very, very close to me. So did they do something wrong? Were they sanctified? Were they close to Hashem? Or was it a punishment? So our sages give us from both sides. Chassidus explains, based on what our sages say, that they didn't marry, they drank, because they drank wine, which Kohen is not allowed to do as he's serving in the Mishkan, because we learn that because the next thing that the Parsha talks about is about drinking and wine. So Chassidus explains these 2 things of not getting married and drinking are 2 things that keep you away from the world, from reality. Wine takes you out of real life, you're in a different world, and things that are confined and normal could be not normal. You get strengths, and you also talk things, you say things that normally you keep within to yourself, and it goes out. Wine could take you up, lift you up, but it could, it takes you out of your normal, confined, mannered way of structured life. And it's good, on Purim and other times. And it says on Purim, the purpose of drinking wine, we're still in Chodesh Adar, we still have that festivities, simcha, poretzet geder, happiness breaks confinement, breaks borders. There are times we're supposed to push ourselves out of the box we put ourselves in. And on Purim is one of the times, chayav adam livisume, a person's supposed to drink to get him out of that confinement, and with wine and simcha, till you don't know the difference between Baruch Mordechai and Or Haman, meaning you like borderlines get mixed up, and things in a normal world are you look at things differently. It's getting out of a normal world. And the same thing, marriage. Marriage ties you down to this world, to the physical, to another person, structure, a house, borderlines, life, children. When I teach Kalas, you'll remember you have to be home on time, you have to do dinner on time, you have to take care of your children, set up a life of borders, of schedules, different mannerisms that you and ideas that you want to have in your home. You set it up, and I say the boys have to learn that can't stay in long verbrengens till 100 o'clock after his permission from their wives. It's like confining yourself before you were a teenager, a freelancer, and like getting into married life, you're actually putting yourself into a house, into a unit. So it does have its constrictions, restrictions, and borderlines. Aaron's, these two sons, Nadav and Avihu, they were so holy. They had a very powerful strength and yearning for kala, klot anefesh, to get to the stage of, well, just spiritual, just soul, not the confinement of physical, of worlds down here. And this is what they did. And to Hashem, it's a strange fire. Hashem says, no, I created a world. The whole purpose of the Mishkan is to bring Hashem down. I don't want to be this lofty God up there. I want to be in the krashim and in the parochet and in the kaporet and in the mizbeach and the shulchan and the menorah. I want physical things. Make me a physical home. And they went into the physical home and said, let's take it up. Let's get out of here. Let's get to klot hanefesh. And this is something that a Jew is constantly working with. Hashem is saying, you made me the heart, libaftini. You made me the central part of the world with your bringing me down and with your yearning actually to go up. Achoti, bringing me down, and kala, with that feeling of yearning to go up to a higher place. This is the way the Chassidus looks at this pasuk that we learned last week, pasuk tes. Okay, and we see later also on the following pasuk, again he mentions the achoti kala, mayafu dodayich. How beautiful is your love, that our love is that duality of achoti, connection down here, and kala, the klot anefesh, the feeling of wanting to be elevated. And that's why he uses also the word, the metaphor of your love is more than wine, because if it was just wine, we would be kala, but we are also down here with fragrances of oils and other types of spices. Okay, then we learned the pasuk Yud Aleph, the 11th pasuk. We spoke here about davening, things that are done, and learning with our lips. And here he uses only the word kala. Because when we daven, it should portray our yearning. When we're studying and learning Torah, which we said, Dvash and Chalav Tachat Leshonecha is Chalav and Dvash are the two types of Torah, Torah Bechtav and Torah B'Peh. It's the revealed Torah and the hidden Torah, which is under our tongue. And our learning and our yearning, when we learn and pray, Svatecha is also alludes to praying, it should be felt, our yearning to connect to Hashem. And here he doesn't mention the word achoti, because it is the part of us that we want to, according to Chassidus, to cling to HaKadosh Baruch Hu to a very, very high level. We also said achoti is sibling love, and we said this is also reminds Hashem of our merits of Abraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov. And here when we daven and we learn, really it's our work. It has nothing to do with the work and the merit of our ancestral merits. Now we come to a very, very important pasuk. As women, Hashem was telling us about the beautiful fragrance and how fragrance is something that goes out to the world. We said it's the good name, if you recall. We said the fragrance spreads, and we make a kiddush Hashem, and we spread Hashem's name. We took it in two ways. And then the next pasuk continues with a very, very important pasuk. It's quoted a lot, especially to women. It says, a lacked garden is my sister, my bride. Again, here now he goes back to using both words, achoti and kala. Gan na'ul achoti kala. My sister, my bride, is like a closed garden, meaning all that beauty that he described, lips and eyes, and all the beauty that the perek mum enba, there's no blemish, you're so beautiful, no blemish and everything. It's closed. It's like a closed garden. It's protected. It's not for everybody to touch and not for everybody to go into. It's a closed garden. And I'll just read the rest of the pasuk. Gal na'ul ma'ayan chatum. A locked spring. Gal is a spring. A sealed fountain. Okay? It's closed. It's sealed. It's locked up. And it's closed. So how does Rashi, let's look into Rashi. How does Rashi explain it? Rashi says, a locked up garden. This refers to the modesty of the daughters of Israel, who are not loose in immoral action. This is a pasuk used a lot when talking about tzniut of Am Yisrael, and especially the daughters of Israel, Bnot Yisrael, that we are closed like a closed garden. Yes, we have a lot of beauty. We have a lot of beautiful parts, but we are like a closed garden, not loose in immoral action. I'll read it in Hebrew. Al Shem tzniut bnot Yisrael she'en prutzot be'arayot, that we chas v'shalom are not loose in immoral relationship. A locked spring, so Rashi says, this may be explained as a term referring to a fountain, gulot aliyot. It may also be explained as a term referring to a gate, locked gates. And many of our sages say this refers to our halachot, the laws of tzniut, and the laws that keep us in a framework with gates, with border lines. And this is really a very, very, like I said, important pasuk, especially to us women, telling us, recognize your beauty. Torah recognizes the beauty of women, the power of women, but the Jewish women are like a locked garden, a locked spring, and a sealed fountain. That fountain, when people hear that there's good water from that fountain, they come to take it. So the owners of fountains seal the fountains, and owners of springs put gates around them that they should not be touched, poisoned, and okay, he does compare us to a beautiful garden. I'd like to read a medrash. Okay, I'll read it from inside. I have it in English. It's the Art Scroll book on Shir, hashirim. He says, this Medrash explains this verse as referring specifically to the Jewish chastity in Egypt. Okay, like we say, b'zchut nashim tzidkaniyot yatzu avotenu mimitzrayim, and the merit of the Jewish people we went out of Egypt. So here, this pasuk is describing the Jewish women in Mitzrayim. They were closed gardens. They were closed, locked up springs and locked up fountains. We had one woman that fell, and her son caused us a lot of trouble. So let me read the Medrash. It says, Rav Abba Bar Kahana said, Sarah went down to Egypt and guarded herself against immorality. And all the women, generations later, during the period of bondage in Mitzrayim, guarded themselves for her sake, meaning continuing in her merit. Joseph went down to Egypt and guarded himself against immorality. And all the men guarded themselves for his sake. Okay, this is what Rav Abba Bar Kahana. In the schus of Sarah, all the women guarded themselves. In the schus of Yosef, all the men who were slaves guarded themselves. Rav Pinchas, the Medrash continues, said in the name of Rav Chia, okay, what did it say? This avoidance of immorality was in itself significant merit to procure the deliverance of Am Yisrael from Mitzrayim. Meaning, just for the sake of the tzniut of the men and the women in Mitzrayim and not falling to immorality, Hashem was able to take us out from Mitzrayim. How do we know? Because it says, Gan na'ul achoti kala. A garden locked up is my sister, my bride. And it continues, the next pasuk, shelachayich, sending you forth. But the verse after says, shelachayich, which could be translated as sending you forth. You're being sent forth from Egypt is because you kept yourself fenced in from immorality like a garden of pomegranate, which is the next verse. Your arid fields are as a pomegranate orchard. The word shalachayich really means arid fields, but it also has the word lishloach, to send. So he said in the merit of the verse, the 12th verse, you'd bet that you were like a locked up, fenced up, beautiful garden and spring and fountain. You were sent out of Egypt like an orchard of pomegranate. Okay, so this is a beautiful explanation from the Medrash. Okay, now let's really look into verse 13 that we started. Okay, Shalachayich Pardes Rimonim. Shalachayich is I think it's a Talmudic expression for lands and fields that are arid, that are dry, and don't have natural source of irrigation. See, the previous verse talks about spring water, fountains. Spring water and fountains are, natural way of reserves, that a person doesn't have to really dig like a well. We'll be having it later in a different verse. Be'er Maim Chaim, wells. So we have different verses, expressions, and ways of getting water. There's spring, there's fountains, there are wells. So this, verse 12 mentions springs and fountains. Verse 13 talks about arid fields. Shlachayich, Rashi says, dry land is called Bet Ashlachin. If you see here in Rashi, it must be continually irrigated, and a field watered by rain is superior to it. So according to Rashi, he's talking about now not prized gardens. In verse 12, Yud-Bet, spoke about a beautiful garden. Verse 11 also, talking about different beautiful different verses. We'll see later, talk about beautiful, beautiful garden. He says here, the garden, and here he's saying, even your arid land that has to be constantly repleted and constantly watered. It's as if it has no life and water and goodness of its own. Hashem sees it as a orchard of pomegranates, pardes rimonim, with sweet fruit, in pri megadim, with sweet fruit, henna and nord, kfarim, im nordim. Nordim is, how does he translate it here? Spikenard. Spikenard. Other places, let's see, I have a different place. Calls it nard. So I guess nard is also spikenard. Nard is also in English, saying that even, let's go back to Rashi, your arid fields are replete with all good, like a pomegranate orchard. This is symbolic of the smallest of Israel, who are moist with good deeds, like a pomegranate orchard. That even the simplest, the furthest, the smallest, like he says, Jew, is moist and full like a pomegranate, like a single pomegranate, and so much more so, the pasuk says, he's like a full orchard of pomegranate. You know, we say it on Rosh Hashanah, we mention that every Jew, even if he doesn't even know it, but he's like a rimon, pomegranate, filled with mitzvot, maleh mitzvot kirimon. He is filled with commandments and good deeds, just like a pomegranate. Okay, and like a sweet fruit, with sweet fruit, henna, and nard, which are species of spices. So here he's talking about even the simple people knew to close up their fields, close themselves up, protect themselves from immorality. That level of tzniut pervaded on all the Jews of all levels. It's not just royalty or kehuna and Shevet Levi and Mitzrayim. It's even the simplest Jew knew that he has to protect himself from immorality and was like a closed garden. You know, people could say, you know, this is an arid field, whoever wants could come in, take, it's not good earth, there's nothing there. And Hashem says, there is. And it's telling us also, going back to the Achoti Kala, if we want to make Hashem the heart of the universe, libaftani, to make Hashem the heart of the nation, we have to close our gardens, close and protect everybody, even the simplest Jew, connect them. Achoti, connect. Achoti, I said, is from the word to connect, and kala, get them to that feeling of yearning to be closer to Hashem. And then he mentions a whole bunch of different spices. Nerd v'karkom. Karkom is turmeric. Here it says calamus. No, he says saffron. Saffron maybe is turmeric. Nard and saffron, calamus and cinnamon, with all frankincense trees, myrrh and aloe, like aloe vera, aloes, with all the chief spices. our gardens had all these fruits and all these spices. Mayan ganim be'er mayim chayim. It's a fountain, a garden fountain, a well of living waters, flowing streams from Lebanon. Here it mentions includes other ways of water. Ma'ayan is a fountain that we mentioned before. Be'er is a well. Difference between Ma'ayan and a be'er is a Ma'ayan is a natural water reserve. A well you have to work for. You have to dig. You have to do more work for it. But once you get to the water, it's living water. And then there's waters that come down from Lebanon. And there's water that comes flowing down from Lebanon. Lebanon, we could say, is from up north, from a higher place. Hi, Malka, in England. Are you on a train or something? No, you're in a house. No, okay, good. Nozlim Lebanon. Lebanon, we could say, coming up from further high. So that's why it comes nozlim, flowing and dripping. And we will explain it more in depth, maybe soon or later. Let's see. What does Rashi say? A garden fountain. That's Mayan Ganim. All this refers back to your arid fields. Okay, two phrases before, two psukim before. Shlochayich means arid fields. Your arid fields, he's still praising those arid fields, the simple people that look like they don't have natural irrigation. He praises them, comparing them, I'm reading Rashi, to a fountain that waters them. This figure of speech, Rashi says, symbolizes the immersion of purity which the girls of Israel immerse themselves. Rashi is saying this pasuk is talking about mikvah. That even the simplest people in Am Yisrael, and if we're going back to the times of Mitzrayim, like it says, that they didn't go out to immoral relationship, they worried to go to the mikvah, kept the differences of Tumah and Tahara. And he praises them and talks about the purity of the Jewish girls, that they immerse themselves in these fountains of water, Maim Chayim. And the flowing streams from Lebanon, Rashi says, from a place of cleanliness. If you recall, we had the word Lebanon before, and we said that it means from the word Lavan, purity, cleanliness, it's white. It symbolizes tshuva, without the murkiness of blood. Of mud. Okay, so we could say that verse 15 and verse 15 and verse 12 are all like, or from verse 12 to verse 15 is really talking about the women and the men and the tzniut and the tumah and the tahara. Okay, and a minute, let's go back. Oh, okay. Hasidus explains, like I said before, there is the ma'ayan, there is the natural, our natural midot, talents, natural water, ways that we connect with Hashem. And then there's the be'er, which is a well, where you have to dig to uncover. It's a different type of work. It's a higher level. It's a higher level of, even a higher level of a neshama. You see, our neshama, we have the neshama that we get and we feel on a daily basis. According to Chassidus, it's a little bit a deep maimer. Actually, there is a maimer that starts with Gan Na'ul Achoti the Rebbe Rashab, I think, and he talks there about these levels, and he says there are levels in our neshama, and we know that we have the nefesh, ruach, chaya, yechida, different levels, and these wording of water are describing the different levels of our neshama. And the mayan is like the part of the neshama that we feel, that we live with in the day-to-day. And then there's sometimes, but our neshama has other parts to it. Sometimes we have a thought, we have a fleeting feeling, an awakening, a connection, whether it's in shul, what's in the chagim. You feel like your neshama got strength, got bigger. And it is, sometimes it gets bigger. We only have a part of our neshama in us. You know, like when a boy becomes bar mitzvah, it says, ma v'ikar, he gets then another piece of his neshama. And the same thing by a girl, by her bas mitzvah. We get it in different times. Sometimes we get, and it stays, and sometimes we just get it and then it goes back up. And that's what it's saying. It's like sometimes it flows. That's a higher level. The flowing from streams from Lebanon, from a higher place, from a very strong place of purity. And when we before described the feeling of kala, klot hanefesh, of you just nullify your body and you're just a neshama, that's on one hand a way of dying. You know, that you just, your neshama gets so much part of your neshama that your body can't hold it. This is what happened to the two boys, sons of Aharon. They wanted to connect to their higher parts of the neshama, and they came to klot hanefesh, and they died. That's why Hashem said, Bikrovaya Kadesh, they were so holy that they couldn't stay down in this world. And why is it considered like has the negative aspect of it? Because Hashem created the world for us to be there. We should have this yearning, but we should have to keep our neshama, hold down our neshama down here. To bring two examples of klot hanefesh, and there are many, two examples, says that when we got the Torah, Hashem started saying that said dibros once, and then he started saying the second two dibros. All the Jews passed out because their other part of their neshama came down to hear it and to grasp it. Their neshamas could grasp it, but their bodies were not able to, and they disappeared. And you know, like they passed out, they disappeared. And we say Hashem gives us. Hashem gives us trials and tribulations according to our body, physical, and our neshama capabilities. We have to make ourselves a little bigger so our neshamas could deal with, and our bodies could deal with, and Hashem doesn't give us something that we can't deal. But here, Am Yisrael, we're not able to deal with the getting that second time round of Seres Dibros, was Hashem saying, and they did die, and Hashem had to have Moshe continue saying. We have a similar story with a medrash about Sarah Imenu. Sarah Imenu, when Avram got the command, Avram had a neshama and a guf that were able to, you know, talk to Hashem or hear Hashem's voice. Avram was told to take Yitzchak to the Akedah, and he went. Sarah was left behind. She did not hear the commandment, right? Let's say she wakes up, Avram went out early in the morning. She went to look for Avram and Yitzchak. And it says that she went to Hebron. Hebron, there lived the giants. There were 4 giants. One of the giants was Og Melech HaBashan, who lived many years. He was in the times of Noach, and then Moshe Rabbeinu kills him. make a long story short, because I really have to close, it says that she asks him, "You're a giant. Could you stand up and look from far? Do you see my husband and child, my son?" And he looks up and he says, "Yes, I see them. I see Avram holding a sword over Yitzchak." And then he said, "But now I see that he put the sword down and put a ayil instead." Sarah's guf could not take that extra part of her neshama that came down to hearing this revelation. And they said that that's when she died. She died when she heard. Okay, I heard that she died when she heard that the Akedah did not happen. She got that extra part of the neshama to hear that he's going up on Kiddush Hashem. But then when he said, "Oh, he's not doing it," that's when she died. That it couldn't hear that. It couldn't hear that. Okay, so this is the explanation of different levels. Hashem says we have different levels. We have the Mayan, we have the Be'er, we have the natural part of the neshama, the normal part that we live with, that we get when we're born. Then we have through our lives the Be'er. We dig and we look for more. We make ourselves bigger so we can get more parts of the neshama. But we should also know it's nozlim. It drips down to us sometimes from Shamayim, milamala, from holy places, that we could have more tastes of awakening, of irrigation, of capabilities to grasp more than we grasp on our day-to-day. Okay, I must sign off because they're bringing me a grandchild, I see already. So everybody have, I will sign off and say have a Karshan Freil from Pesach, because next Wednesday I will be in New York. Everybody could send me their names. I will be at the oil Wednesday morning in Mr. Shem, a week from today. And I will be happily davening for everybody. I did add a, yes, I told you, I said it before, a link. If anybody would like to help us in our son's campaign, he does unbelievable things in Bar-Ilan University. Many of the students are also soldiers, and he helps them, he deals with them, he feeds them, he hosts them, he learns with them, he marries them off. Also went to Nichum Avelim, to some of them, and he does this once a year. He teaches in our medrasha, and we all like to help. Okay, thank you, everybody. Take care. We'll see you.
Thank you. הכשר ושמח.
Amen. Okay, take care.